Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Hey, popping in with a Sunday sermon. Now, what you notice on these is there's no advertisements in these videos, okay? So, need you to get this word in. This is not a Bible study. I'm talking to you heart to heart to help you shift your posture, shift your heart posture, because I pay attention to the people and I see the changes that I had to make, and I see the blessings that came after those changes. And this morning, as I was looking in the book of Mark, and Jesus was talking about the parables, and they were like, hey, what do these parables mean? He said, listen now, when I'm talking to outsiders, I speak in parables. And he was like, how are you going to get this word if you don't understand these parables? And he was talking about sowing seeds, when we sow seeds, when seeds are sown, and how some are sown on stony ground, or in the fowls of the air can come scoop them up, and then some are sown on rocky soil, and it sound good, it feel good, you get a little word, but then the troubles of the world come and swoop in and distract you. And then how some seeds are sown on good soil, and when it's sown on good soil, it sinks in and it gets roots, and then it reaps a harvest 4 times greater than what was sown. So I was thinking about that, and it really just started to deal with me, because a lot of times we hearing stuff and we hearing good stuff, but unless you actually take and you make changes, because every single day you're going to be tempted and tested with doubt, with fear, with worry, with lack. But you have to shift your heart's posture. You got to shift the way you receive the world and the way you perceive the world. You have to make that shift, and it's going to happen through you actually speaking aloud and you saying out loud what you need to hear. So I remember those days of jealousy. I remember those days of competition. I remember those days of not wanting to see other people happy. I remember those days, and most people go through it. Now, anybody can say in the comments, oh, I'm happy for everybody. Oh, I'm always happy for people. Oh, you just ain't met the right person. You happy for a celebrity. You happy for a celebrity. But what about your best friend that grew up next to you, end up married, with a white picket fence, house on the hill, and you crying on your pillow asking God where your husband at? What about that? When if your womb is shut up and you see somebody else popping them out left and right, what about that? If you working and you showing up to work 30 minutes early, you leaving 30 minutes late, and the person who pop in and barely do they work, but they got a bright smile and they know how to swing their booty in their pencil skirt, get the raise, get the promotion. What about that? See, when you truly test it, it's easy to be happy for people when we don't feel like they are competition, when they're not going after what we're going after. It's easy to be happy for people. It's easy to be happy for people when we don't feel like they're in our league. When you have nothing against Bill Gates getting his money. You have nothing against Oprah getting her money, because they're not in your same city. They're not going for the same thing you're going for. But what about that person right next to you? Now, see, that's one type of heart posture. But what you also have to look at is, what about what you've gone through? What about what you have seen? Can you speak to that situation and say, I forgive you and I release you? I forgive you and I release you. whether it was a parent, a family member, a friend. Can you forgive someone who has hurt you, someone who has betrayed you, someone who has abandoned you? Can you forgive? And literally speaking the word. See, a lot of times we just want to do it in our mind, but you will have what you say. That's why you have to be very careful what you say. And me and my wife, we check each other all the time to not even joke with certain things. Don't let stuff come out of your mouth. I remember a young lady came to me from maybe India or, Pakistan. It was something like that. I just remember saying in my head, I don't remember exactly where it was, but she was on another continent. And she had written a book about the power of words. And she was asking me how to publish it. And could I publish it in America? And we didn't ever get around to it because she was still working on it. But I remember reading her book, and you will be blown away. She was giving examples of artists, music artists, who said in a song that they had lived their last day, that their last day was on the way, that they were going to be gone. And speakers, teachers, she had examples of celebrity individuals, all the way down to Ocho Cinco in Miami on the time on the reality show where he said, "All right, coach, hey, I'm going home, going to jail this weekend." And sure enough, got into it with his wife, got arrested, went to jail that weekend. And I mean, she had the big examples from the famous artists that we lost, some before I was born, all the way up until my time, where it involved me, because I worked with him, that player that I mentioned, for a week. And he tweeted about it, so that's public. So I don't, it's not confidential. He tweeted about it. I'm here in Tampa working with Tony Gaskins for a week. But the power of the tongue. God allowed me to see that this young lady that I don't know where she at. If you see this video, reach out to me. She on the other side of the world. Sent me that book. And I was floored. So see, you have to think about what you're saying. Because see, a lot of times, not a lot of time, but all the time, what you say, it's people out here that try to teach that what you're saying in your mind doesn't matter. And that you can be thinking negative and receive positive. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And that's what the devil wants you to believe. See, the adversary wants you to believe that you can be negative, that you can spew negativity, that you can be doubtful and worrying and all of these things, and good is going to come. Now, at the same time, just because you're thinking good, just because you are saying stuff good, does not mean that good is going to come. See, what is in his will for your life is going to come. And this the thing, because see, a lot of times we want to manipulate the situation, and you want to watch The Secret, and then you want to sit there and Lamborghini in the garage, Lamborghini in the garage, Lamborghini in the garage, and then you walk outside and look in your parking lot because you don't even have a garage yet, or you got a garage and that same Toyota that you had before you close your eyes and start chanting Lamborghini is still there. It's not about magic. It's not about something appearing. It's about you having a belief and then you having the work that follows it. Y'all already know what goes with it. Faith with work. And this is what I say. I know I cannot outperform the universe. And when I say that, I mean universal law. A lot of times we just so spiritual and we forget that God is not a man sitting in a gold chair. God, and people get mad when you say God is the universe. God is a spirit. God is everything around you. God is all around you. And what we have is we have universal laws that reign on the just and the unjust, as I mentioned last week in the Sunday sermon. So what you have to realize is, whether you atheist or believer, if you believe that you're going to receive and you do the work, guess what? That thing is coming, no matter what side you standing on. So if you standing with God and what you believing for, and you believe in God, Jesus Christ, that's your Savior, and what you believing for, what you praying for is in his will, and you doing the work for it. See, you could say, oh, I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to get a new job. But then you have to prepare yourself. So if you get an interview and then you sleep in, oh, I'm not going to go to this interview. I already got the job. I already got the job. Sando, I already got the job. And you sleep in, then guess what? You're not going to get the job. Just because you sat there saying you're going to get the job, now you got the interview, but you don't show up to the interview. Or you show up to the interview and you got crust in your eye, your breath stank, your breath bouncing off the walls, and you sitting there arrogant. So yeah, just tell me how much you're going to pay me, because I already know I got this job. The Lord told me in my spirit, I already know I got this job. Guess what? You're not going to get the job. So it's not just about what you saying, what you believe, and it's also shifting your heart to operate from a place of humility and a place of ambition, a place of obedience, so that now you're doing the work. And I had a saying that is not really popular. It's not really popular because it's a lot of lazy people in the world. And I remember tweeting it one time, and somebody wanted to argue with me. But I don't argue about what I know. And I would say, pray, believe, and then work twice as hard as you believe. And that upset a lot of people, because see, a lot of people want to pray and believe and then sit still. No. See, when I was reading in Mark this morning, and Jesus was talking about sowing a seed. When he was talking about sowing a seed, now that seed could represent a lot of different things, but if I pray and say, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened. I've had things, courses and things of that nature. You could have something that you've produced and you saying, Lord bless it, Lord bless it, Lord bless it, Lord bless it. And nothing has happened. But then, so you pray and you believe, but now guess what? Now you got to work. Now you got to sow the seed. And what I mean by this is that may mean posting the picture of your product or your service on your Instagram. It's no different than when Jesus said, look, cast the net. He didn't get in the boat with John or whoever that was and just let fish jump in the boat. They had to get in the boat, get in the water, wade the water, go on out there, get the net and cast the net. You can't just say, I know I'm going to be fed and just sit on the shore. No, you got to get your reel and rod and you going to cast. Now, when you do the work, you might catch you 10 of them that's going to feed you, but you got to do the work. And so this is the thing. As you naming it and claiming it and believing it, now you got to shift your heart to receive it. And when you shift your heart to receive, what this means is, for one, you're moving jealousy out of the way. And you literally have to say, I remember when I started to shift, I would picture somebody who is an author like me, who's a speaker like me, who's a black man like me, who's married like me, and having success. There's people out here like that. And I may bump into one of them. And when I was young, it would be jealousy and competition. But as I grew, and I started to sit more with the Holy Bible, reading that word, and understanding what love your neighbor as you love yourself, understanding the benefits of not being jealous. Because see, you could be jealous and don't even know what this person going through. You could be jealous of somebody and don't even realize that behind closed doors they in torment. You could be jealous of somebody and don't even realize that behind closed doors they living with something that they can't get rid of, or they going through something that will crush you like a bug, squash you like a grape. You could be jealous of somebody and don't even know what you spending time being jealous of. And guess what? They may have none of what you actually believe that they have. They may have a future that's coming to them that's going to be way too much for you to handle, or way worse than you would ever want to have happen to you. See, you could be jealous for the wrong reasons. But see, here's the thing. Whether their life gonna be good or bad, you can't control that. But guess what? You hindering your life by being jealous. Because when you're jealous, it puts a cage and a lock around your heart so that you cannot receive what God has for you. See, when you don't want to give because you're saying, if I give, then I can't get ahead. So if I'm trying to get to 100 and this person over here has 90 and I have 20, because they only 10 away from 100, and 100 is what opens the next level. Guess what? You may say, well, I got 20. They have 90. So they right there. Oh, they don't need my little money. So let me hold on to mine. And then guess what? You sit there and you holding on. You holding on and you don't want to sow a seed. So you holding on out of jealousy, out of greed, out of competition. But you got 80 to go. You got such a long ways. But God maybe cross your path with this person to allow the adversary to test you. The adversary say, oh, let me show you where your son or where your daughter heart is. Let me show you your daughter heart posture. Here it is. Here we go. Hey, watch this. Exhibit A. Okay, she has 20. Her friend has 90. They need 100 for the bill. So let's see what she's gonna do. Hold on to her 20 and be 80 away with nowhere to get there, or sow 10 to help her neighbor pay their $100 bill. Let's see what they're gonna do. See, 9 out of 10 people gonna hold on to their 20. This where I broke the cycle. This is a real life example that I'm giving you. There will be times in my life, and here I was, an entrepreneur, and I had raised my level of living. And I remember there were times that my bills for the month may be $6,000. And I may have $1,000 or $2,000 in my infancy of entrepreneurship. And a family member would come to me who is good ground. See, remember in the parable that Jesus was giving, he was talking about also, when he's talking about sowing, he's talking about really the word of God landing on the hearts of people. But this seed can also represent where you sow your time, your money, your energy, if it's good ground. So if God crossed my path with somebody that's good ground, meaning that they're doing everything they can to live right and do the right thing. So I may be thousands short of my bills, but this person is $50 short on their rent. So I know in my situation that my money could come every day, any kind of way, because I had created multiple streams of income. But their money is feeding their children, and their money is set on a 2-week schedule, and they always behind the 8 ball. So I came to a place in my life to where I say, here. And I remember one time my mama said to me, and she said it for her own selfish gain, God bless her soul, but she said, you got to give from your lack. Now, I don't know if she knew what she was saying, but she needed some money. I had some money. I ain't have all the money I needed, but I had enough that she needed. And I took and I gave to her from my lack. Met her need, but I still had my need. And guess what? But see, I had to do it with a glad heart. See, you can't give, here, take this. Leave me alone. Oh my God, I can't stand you. You can't give with that kind of heart, because that kind of heart cannot receive. So when I give with a glad heart. And some people will call it a loan. I don't do loans. I'm giving, here you go. You can have it. It's gone. Even if you call it a loan, I'm giving it to you as a gift. Here you go. And at this point in my life, I don't do loans. Even if the person called it a loan, you got it. Go ahead. And I did that, and guess what? When I started doing that, that was one form of a test. Remember, the other form is seeing somebody who looks like you, doing what you do, pursuing what you're pursuing, but perceivably doing better than you. Look, they appear to be ahead of you. To look at that and be able to say, see, I shift from being upset and jealous when I was a young man starting out building my entrepreneur journey. I shift from having to go talk to my wife, man, you know, these guys ain't living right, and they getting all this, and they doing all this, and here I am, I'm toiling for the Lord, I'm living right, I'm doing right. And then my wife having to speak into my life, don't worry about it. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know if that person gonna be exposed. You don't know what they got going on. You don't know what God doing for you. You don't know what God got for you. Guess what? And to shift and say, Lord bless them. Lord, and to say it with a smile, Lord bless them. Woo, hey, Lord, let them get everything they gonna get. Lord, Lord, if that's you moving in their life, keep on moving, Lord, because I know my season gonna come. So let me see them shine, and let me learn from their season. Let me get lessons from their season, because I know my season coming, because I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. And I shift to that place. So see, I ain't telling you to do something that I have not done. But let me tell you, and I can't speak in exacts, okay, just because everything ain't for everybody. But what I want you to hear is that I'm a living witness that when you change your heart's position, when you change where you are operating from, and you shift to a place of faith, a place of obedience, and a place of love, and also self-love. So go down the list and release the jealousy that you have for your coworkers. Release the jealousy that you have for family members. Release the jealousy that you have for celebrities or personalities. Release that self-righteousness that has convinced you that you deserve more than this other person who you may see as a heathen, but you see them as blessed. See, you're not even operating from the right place if you can see a person as a heathen, which is a non-believer, and see them as receiving blessings from God. You all the way off base, because they're going to get the rewards of their hard work, but God ain't got nothing to do with that. See, the blessing of the Lord is a gift that comes without sorrow. But see, when you do it on your own, you can receive a reward that also will come with a recompense, that will come with a snare because of how you got it or why you got it. See, you can sabotage your reward based on where your heart is at, because you can get in a situation and then get greedy. You can get in a situation and then your motives change. And see, you gotta be able to move. You gotta be able to cast the net. But see, this, people do it differently. See, some people get in their own boat, and even if they got to patch up holes in their boat, they get in their own boat. Even if they got to make their own net, but they gonna get in their own boat, patch up the holes so that they don't sink. They gonna wade out into the water and they gonna cast their own net. Then you have people who they want to hitch a ride in somebody else's boat, and they want to use that person's net. Hey, cast your net, get you something. Let me cast your net and get me some. And then you got some people who they want to hitch the ride in somebody else's boat, but don't want to help paddle. Or if it's a power boat, don't want to give nothing towards the gas. And then if they cast the person's net and catch more than the owner of the net caught, they want to keep all of theirs and not even give some, split it with the person who gave them the ride in the boat and let them use the net. See, you got different type of people, and you got to decide which one you are, because that's what you're going to see. Then you got people who going to steal somebody's boat and they net and go out. So you see what I'm saying? You working. See, the person who stole the boat, he working. He had the paddle out there. He with that paddle, okay, he got that net, he throwing that net till he dripping sweat. He working, he got this, then he got to get back, get all the fish, try to get the fish to his house, and have a boat sitting there when they wake up at 6 a.m. butt crack of dawn to go get in their own boat. You hear me? He worked, but guess what? His food gonna turn to gravel in his mouth. His fish got maggots. He gonna put it in his freezer, and the power gonna go out, and it's all gonna spoil. You see what I mean? He did the work, he got the reward, but then it turned to rust before he could spend it all. That's what I need you to understand. But see, the gifts and the blessings of the Lord comes without sorrow. But see, this is what you have to understand. This is what you have to understand is that when you plant the seed on good soil, on good ground, see, when it's good soil, that seed gonna have to go deep, because that's where the roots is gonna set. So see, when it hit the stony ground, when it hit the stony soil, the rocky soil, see, it didn't have to go too deep because it was rocky soil. So you saw a sprout in a day. They saw a little sprout in a day, but see, because it's rocky soil, the roots weren't deep enough. So you saw a little something and it looked like it's about to turn into something, but the roots weren't deep enough, so it get plucked up. But see, when you good ground and you doing the work, guess what? When you planting the seed and you watering the seed and you get some sunshine, you got to have dirt and you got to have rain. It ain't gonna be all sunshine, because see, all sunshine ain't good. You're gonna have to have some rain, and you're gonna have to be in the dirt. Yes. And guess what come with dirt and rain? Mud. So somebody might drag your name through the mud. People might believe them while they throwing dirt and mud on your name. But in that season, your roots are being formed. Now listen to me. And God got something for you. And guess what? In the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of it, in the midst of their turmoil, in the midst of their chaos, you receive peace, blessings, and favor because you were deeply rooted, and it was going to take more time for your harvest to sprout. But your harvest will be far greater than the season that you struggled in, where you couldn't see what was going because it was happening beneath the soil. You couldn't see what was happening. Them roots was being dug deep so that you can have some way to stand and you could be strong. So that when you broke soil, so that when the wind came and the rain came and the storm came, you would be strong. And see, you can withstand the test of life. You can withstand the test of time. But see, this one over here on the stony soil, the roots weren't deep enough. The roots weren't deep enough. It was just beneath the soil. So when they sprouted, you watched them in 2018. And you were like, how they sprouting? 2019, how they sprouting? How they doing better than me? Lord, what's going on? But you have to be still and you got to be quiet. You got to shift your heart. Bless them, Lord. Bless them. If they doing for you, if they living right, already know you reign on the just as well as the unjust. Be that as it may. Go ahead. God bless you. I ain't mad at you. You know the saying we say, everybody ain't able. Favor ain't fair. Smile for them. Smile for them. Be happy for them. You hear me? And when you can go to that space, guess what? Their season may be plentiful. Their season may be bountiful. They may be deep rooted. You don't know. See, we can't speak rocky soil on them. We can't speak stony ground on them. We don't know what they behind the scenes look like. But do you know yours? Do you know yours? See, in the other one there was thorns. In another type of ground there was thorns. See, is your heart rocky? Is your heart stony? Is your heart full of thorns? See, you got to know your heart's posture. You got to know your heart's position. You have to know where you are operating from. Some of y'all DM me on Instagram and showed me that Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister, posted my quote. Now, I told y'all, for those who watch Small Business Saturday, how them quotes work and how I write the quotes and how people would find them and post them. And that's how it helped build my following online. Somebody sent me, and that quote that she posted is talking about, I wrote it from my heart, so I don't remember it verbatim, but it's talking about evaluating where you're operating from and never speaking from a place of jealousy, anger, hate, and all of those things. That's your heart. Because as the good book says, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So see, you're going to have to continue evaluating yourself. Who you jealous of? Who you hating on? What you bitter about? Who you arguing with that you don't need to be taking the time to argue? Don't come arguing with me about my God. Because you can't convince me otherwise. You wasting quality oxygen that you could be inhaling gratitude for having breath in your lungs. When you go to working your thumbs to come argue and debate with me, you wasting quality time that you could be building your dream, because you can't convince me otherwise because of who I serve. See, because of who I serve, it ain't about me. It ain't about me being arrogant. It ain't about me being conceited. See, I'm confident because I've come into the knowledge of the Lord. So I know what I know because of who I know. So you can't convince me otherwise. You can't tell me that I'm wrong, because see, I got a holy Bible that I done read that has proven itself over and over and over. Listen, you could talk till you blue in the face, and you can't talk me out of believing in the living word, because I'm living and I'm breathing and I know that it's real. You hear me? So listen, that's why I don't operate no longer from hate, from jealousy, from anger, from insecurity. You see what I'm saying? I pray for you. Guess what? And when I block you, I'm turning you over to Jesus. I'm turning you over to the Lord, because you coming to disrupt my spirit, my energy. So I'm turning the other cheek. See, if I want to turn the other cheek, I'd go back at you, be arguing with you, debating with you. But when you get out of character and I block you, I'm turning the other cheek. You still could see what the Lord gonna do. You still could hear what the Lord gonna say. But you're gonna have to do it from a distance. You hear what I'm telling you? And if you in my lane, if you against my lane, whatever you doing, I'm gonna pray God's will for your life. Because I don't know what his will is for your life. Because his blessings may be for you, or his vengeance may be for you. The Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I don't know what's coming to you, but guess what? Be it good or not, I ain't trying to eat off your plate. So I ain't going to be too close to you, regardless. But see, now, let me take you back to what I was talking about. Where when you got 20 and somebody else over here got 90 and the goal is 100. See, and you know they good ground. You know they done toil. You know they done struggled. You know they done stayed the course. You know they good people. You know they working for it. That's how they got 90 and you got 20. You might have 80. Woo, that's going to be the real test. You might have 80. But see, this is the thing. You have to know from whence comes your help. You have to know where your help cometh from. See, if you scarcity minded, oh no, I'm gonna hold mine. No, I gotta keep mine. No, get your, you can't have none of mine. That's a scarcity mindset. See, I have to teach this to my family, my inner circle, my immediate family. I have to teach this to them, because everybody ain't got this rhema word from the Lord yet. Everybody ain't at that place. So I have to help people understand, listen, this is what the Lord gave me. You hear me? And when I tapped into this space, hey, here you go. Guess what? When that person, when that good ground hit 100, when that good ground hit 100, it may unlock the doors. They may step into their season and receive so much that is pressed down, shaken together, and running over, that guess what? That their gift back to you, because they have not forgotten the seed you sowed in their life. Now understand, a seed does not have to be monetary. It might be a word of encouragement. It might be quality time. It might be an act of service. It might be those words of affirmation. See, a seed ain't always monetary. If it need to be, then it is. If it got to be, then it got to be. But a seed can take different forms, understand that. But when you give from what you got, I remember, and my wife watched this, and it used to burn her. It used to burn her. Because my family would be coming to me, hey, I need this, hey, I need this, hey, I need this. And they would be squandering their money, doing this, doing that, doing that. And they would come to me and they need a bill that need to be met. I would ignore my bill and give to them. And I would give to them because I would say they have less than me. And what I meant by that is their earning potential is smaller than mine. Their favor is smaller than mine. Their understanding is smaller than mine. So I'm giving from my financial lack, but my heart, my spirit is overflowing. It's abundant. And I understand that money is just energy. It's currency, but it's created like that. So when I'm giving them, I'm not giving a piece of my life. I'm not giving away my eternity. I'm opening the door to receive. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Overflowing blessings. And I remember going into the negative in my bank account to help my sister, who, it wasn't good ground. It wasn't good ground. But see, it wasn't about her. It was about her 3 children. And I would be in the negative. And my wife would look at me like, what are you doing? And I said, no, listen to me. These kids innocent. I'm helping them so that they don't have to be evicted. So that they don't have to catch a bus. But watch what God do. Because I know who I serve. I know what's going on here. Trust me. And my wife would become that Ephesians 5 wife that say, wives, submit unto your husband as unto the Lord. And husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And she would listen to me and let me be obedient to God. And God would say, listen to me. You ain't doing this for your sister. You giving as if you giving unto me. And guess what? The blessing would come. Pressed down, shaking together, and running over. I would pray over it before I did it. And I would remove bitterness and resentment from my heart. And I would give from a glad heart. Let me tell you, right now I'm in an unprecedented season in my life. I can't even open my eyes right now because they'll flow like running water. I'm in an unprecedented season in my life. And when I think about it, I think back to the times that I gave from my lack, that I shifted my heart, that I blessed those who cursed me, prayed for those who persecuted me. And I think about what God is doing. Hey, listen to me. Shift your heart. Shift your heart. Renew your righteousness. Repent. And let God work. Hey, this Tony Gaskin. God bless you.